Okay, so the only reason I'm talking about this uh, is because I get to talk about the L word for a bit. So I do talk about Jake and Devin in my review, and their road trip. What I didn't get into was the first stop they made, which was to a hotel. You can guess why. My first thought was so young teenage boys get to check into a hotel, no problem. Also, they got money for that. It's expensive. And so they check into the hotels, and they, you can guess what happens there. And it was like the L word because they were up against the wall, they were breaking lamps and everything. It's supposed to be their first time. It's a crazy thing. They're destroying this hotel room just all over each other. And it's so weird because not only is it two young teenage boys, they're portrayed by two young teenage boys, one of which still looks very pubescent. Like prepubescent, like Jake is built and everything, he's looking grown. Devin, his actor, he still has some growing to do. He's like he still has to fight have a child. Either way, it's weird. Like I had nowhere to look during that whole scene. Like, who is this for? I don't know what this is for. I get what Damascene's doing. I get he didn't have to freedom to do this, but these are still young teenage boys. And the difference here between Jake and Devin and those crazy scenes on the L word was those are grown lesbian women, both same-sex couples, yes, but they were grown. And these are again young teenage boys being played by young teenage boys. So I, I don't think this is weird. You know what I'm saying? Again, not because we're gay. Like if you're new here, I'm obviously an ally, like 100%. I just talk about how much I like the L word. It was just weird seeing these. I mean, that's been the whole storyline. This entire season. They were trying to fuck, but they finally did it. So it's that done with. Because my goodness. Anyway, that's all. Thank you for watching. Okay, so there was one more thing I wanted to touch on that I forgot to touch on last night before we get to the review. There was one scene that I really liked when Chucky was flipping through channels and he just starts roasting other famous dolls. He stumbles across the boy, not the killer version, the theatrical movie, and I forgot what he says about that. And then he comes across Slappy from Goosebumps, and this is from the Goosebumps movies, and he's like, didn't even get a franchise. I'm like, Slap has been in more episodes and books than any other antagonist, and he's the main villain in both movies, correct? That's a franchise. I play some of the video games too, yeah. And then he comes across Megan. So we finally get Chucky's official thoughts on Megan, and they are just as hilarious as we thought they would be. Among other things, he says, she stole my moves. Then he throws up the finger, it's like, fuck you, Bethrigan. Which, I mean, technically, yes, he did. Just had to mention that. Okay, again, to the review. Thank you for watching. Okay, so it's been a couple of months, but I'll just watch season 3, episode 5 of Chucky just premiered last night. I just watched it. But before I get into that, Diamond City did announce last week or the week before that there will be a new Chucky movie, which did kind of impact how I felt about this episode and the whole storyline because it's kind of spoilery, knowing that there will be a new movie at some point. But yeah, so before I get into the episode, once again, I tried to watch it last night as I usually do after Dynamite. Sling was working fine. And for some reason, it wasn't. It was all choppy and fucking with me. And then it rained really, really hard, which didn't help. So, yeah, I fell asleep trying to mess with it. So, the first thing I did when I woke up was go to Peacock and watch this episode. So I could finally say, previously on fucking Chucky. So, when I first heard that in this episode, I thought it was the Crypt Keeper, and I marked out upon rewatch where many things Slim fuck with me. It was actually Jennifer Tilly that said it. So we both have that raspy kind of voice. Jennifer Tilly obviously has a way sexier voice, but yeah. Anyway, so they gave us a recap of before, which was great because I needed that. And so we're doing the whole Chucky's dying storyline. He's balding, as he said. His hair's all white. I mean, has a couple of hairs left. He's wrinkled as hell, sort of decaying liver spots. He's not looking great in his voice too. Um, three kids are still trying to find a way to take him out permanently. The White House was just subject to a bunch of murders, and somehow it's not closed down. And now there are ghosts. I said before that there might be ghosts. It's out there, definitely ghosts now in the Chucky universe. So now, in Chucky season 3, episode 5, it's called Death Becomes Her, which makes it funny that I thought the Crypt Keeper was the opening narrator because if you watch the trailer for Death Becomes Her, it's a horror comedy, and the song that plays about that trailer is the Tales from the Crypt theme song. So, anyway, so the opening is a bunch of Chucky heads decomposing into their skulls. It's really cool. Um, so it opens with. Here's the thing. I try so hard to pay attention. I hate whisper acting. I really do. It takes me out of it. That was most of this episode. Literally every line that wasn't Chucky was whisper acted. That's a torture to me. It really is. It's supposed to be dramatic. I don't get how. Like, I have to be dramatic if it can't keep me awake. Like, come on. So it opens with a cleaning lady, which reminded me of that scene from Bride of Chucky when he and Jeffrey took me to the hotel. And they murdered that cleaning lady. Yeah. Except Lois Lane's niece isn't there. It's played by someone else. And she's like, and she sees the Chucky doll in the bed. And she's like, I don't get paid enough for this shit. And then she takes a hit of her drink. I don't know what it is. She sets it down next to all her chemicals. Like all her chemicals, including bleach. I get it, you're on a carpet. Separate that. You don't want any accident, like what's about to happen. And Chucky notices that and he pours bleach in her drink and she drinks it and it's all bloody. She's choking blood all over the place. She's throwing it up. Now, I'm allergic to bleach myself. Like, I can't be in the same room with it. That does not happen at all. The trouble breathing part happens, but not the blood. So, I don't. Still, a good kill, I guess. Nothing compared to the second kill later on. Whew. But yeah, that happens, and Chucky says, and then Chucky has this beautiful monologue, one of very few lines that I actually like in this whole episode, where it's like, he's looking at her and he's like, why do I even do it anymore? The thrill, watching you cling to life, watching the light go out. I used to live for that shit. Now, what's the point? And now I gotta clean this shit up. Like, damn. And later on, he tries to kill the first lady, but he can't move his arm, and it's like, I can't even get it up anymore. And I would really be loving the storyline if I didn't know that we're getting a whole new movie after this is done. Sort of defeats the point. Takes me out of it, no urgency there. Because I for a second thought maybe this was it for Chucky. I mean, like I said before, Brad Dourif is in his 70s now. So, I mean, it's a voice role, so it's fine. Still, I thought maybe this was him like, putting into it, but apparently not. I mean, I like more Chucky. Spoilers, man. Um, so yeah, he murders the cleaning lady. A lot of boring talking. There's a boring conversation between the oldest kid and Lexi. I'm jumping around, and she's trying to convince him that she does like him, even though he full well knows she's using him, and she point blank confirms that to her. They call themselves family now to Devin and the other kid. Like before she leaves to go see him, she's like, they're like you're using them. She's like, just want to find my sister, and I get that. Like I ain't mad at her for that. Like if it was my sister, that's not who I am. I don't use people, but if I'm finding my sister, I had to do what I had to do. But this kid, the way she's playing with him though, that's messed up. But I guess I get it. They have a boring conversation about how she likes him or whatever for him, and not because of who his father is or where he lives at or some boring shit. There's a conversation between the oldest kid and his mother that was kind of sort of interesting, sort of kind of, because they're still grieving the youngest kid. So kind of sort of. He's trying to like uh, calm him down or help him out. Or it was kind of interesting because when I've been there, my mother's had to do that to me when my dad died. So I get it. Um, and while that conversation's happening between Lexi and the older kid, they focused on the Secret Service agent. And when I watched it on Sling, it was like it cut the screen and showed him on the right side getting the text. It didn't say what it was. Then he walks this way to the right, but in the scene from the left, I'm like, what? I rewinded so many times. It turns out it was Sling messing with me. Because on Peacock, it just like they blur out Lexi and the other kid to the background while the agent's in the foreground on the left side. So okay, still weird, but okay. And he gets the text. He's like, "Hey, you just beat yourself." So yeah. Um, Chucky calls Tiffany in prison. They have again one of the very rare, non-boring, non-whisper acting conversations in this episode. And Chucky's telling her that he's not doing too well, and he's dying. She's like, "Fine, just call me when you resurrect." He said, "Nah, not this time." And then she like builds him up. She's like, "Bullshit, you're Chucky the killer dog. If you are dying, go out to blaze of glory." Chucky's like, "Hell yeah, blaze of glory." And well, this inspires that kill. We'll get there, but first, Devin and I should know his name. I should know his name. Wait, their name's correct. How born was I forgot to do his name. Devin and Jake. Okay, okay. So Devin and Jake they go on a road trip. Um, because they discovered that there's someone who can help them nearby. It's the same doctor they brought back from before to help Chucky with his curse. They're doing that again. It's still weird, but I get why they're doing it once again. Still weird though. And there is one, I guess, good moment where Devin calls out the doctor who doesn't want to say anything because obviously, and it's like bullshit. I read your handbook, whatever, and it says the only thing you pledge allegiance to is your Lord Damballa, and the doctor's like, okay, fine. And he tells them how to beat Chucky, but also tells them to stay away from Chucky and just let nature take its course. I guess since he's already on his way out, he's already kind of dying. And the doctor's kind of funny. Like when he's done, he's just like, "Have a nice day." And takes a bite of his sandwich. I'm like, could have been McFoley using his catchphrase, but yeah. And this then leads to the big, big like that. Mostly big, but very. It's surprising. I wasn't expecting it. Like it's the longest Devon Sawa has survived the whole show. But throughout the show, there's ghostly things happening. Cause yeah, and everybody's telling the first lady, and she's not buying it. The Secret Service dude who's blackmailing her is telling her she's not buying it. The president's telling her she's not buying it. Her kids are telling her she's not buying it. She's just like, and then she like had this monologue, but I guess it was good. Which I got into it more, but it was more of a whisper monologue about how she's still grieving her youngest son, but won't let that define her or something. I hate whispering, but it was a good monologue. And then as the agent, well, I'll get back to that. And yeah, when the president tells her that he's been seeing their kid, she's like, "You too?" Or the kid that, and it's like, "No, I saw it because you see, like he's in the Oval Office, minding his own, and he walks up to a table, he flips it over, and pulls his hand back, and there's blood, and there's a whole bunch of CGI blood, and you see a face in there in the blood, okay." And earlier, with the youngest kid, the middle kid, I guess, he's in the room. I thought for a second he saw what Chucky did to the cleaning woman. Nope, it was his brother. I'm like, what happened to this kid? They said he was sick. I'm like, did he unalive himself? Because it was all over the wall. The entrails, the eyeballs, and I said, if it blinks, if the eyeball blinks, and it blinked. I'm like, okay. So I don't know what happened to this kid, but he was all over the wall, blood all over the place. And he runs to his mother as, yeah. And she has to look, nothing there. And that's when Chucky almost But yeah, and when then the president sees him, and then he's having a conversation with the Secret Service agent or FBI agent, whatever he is, and he's telling her like, nah, there might be something to it because they have a video of this entity at the party where those murders took place, just walking and then disappearing. I thought it was Lexi Sister because they was wearing the same outfit. And for a second, I was kind of took us like maybe it's a camera trick. But then nope, we find out there are ghosts because as he's like, you would say a ghost did this in front of him, the American flag, a ghost takes it and strangles itself. And you see the face of you see the ghost having trouble breathing. I don't get okay. This is why I was worried about ghosts because I don't understand what. I don't know if the ghost is there to help him. Does it seem like it is? It seems like the ghost of the youngest kid. I don't know, but yeah. So ghosts are a thing now, and also the trio we've been following since season one. They're talking about fighting magic with magic. How did it take 40 years for a protagonist to come up with that idea? Like, yes, fight magic with magic. Also, they set up something when he talked to the doctor. He was like, the only way to truly be Chucky is in the spirit realm. Like, how do you get there? He's like, to die, duh. So I'm like, what? When I was gonna like pull a pull a what was that movie that got remade? It was shit. Hold on. Flatliners. That's what it was. Pull a Flatliners. So are they gonna do that and then be somewhere in between? Go to the spirit realm, talk to Chucky, and I imagine cameos. Like, is that what they're gonna do? I don't know. Sounds like it. So yeah, and it ends with that murder. Oh, so the president's in I think the youngest kid's bedroom because he had a conversation earlier about like when he's seeing the ghost, when he feels this, when he's walking past that kid's room and or sees something that belonged to him. So he's in the room and he sits down on the bed. And I thought it was a woman screaming, but he lifts the cover and it's Chucky. And he turns his back and uh, the kid is like, the ghost of the kid is like, Daddy, look out. And then Chucky hits him with a piggy bank full of money. And I'm like, that's it? That's how he goes out? No. Chucky then jumps on him and he pulls a Mike Tyson. He bites that ear off and he spits it out. And side note here, I just found out that Mike Tyson's arm intervals are saved like Holyfield's ear with the bite and everything. I find that hilarious. And I wonder if Holyfield gets a part of that. I mean, that's his ear. Anyway, yeah, so he spits it out and it like blaze of glory and he starts just biting the shit out of the president. And he goes to the eyeball, pulls him out, he scratches him and said it's like that scene in Poltergeist where dude scratched his own face off, something way more graphic. He scratches him and he goes to the eyeballs, pulls them out, they're in his hands, and one of them flies out of his hands, super close up to end the episode. I'm like, and Chucky's like, I'll take it from here, Mr. President, or whatever the shit. I'm like, okay, okay. So yeah, that was Chucky, season 3, episode 5, Death Becomes Her. And I thought about this episode as I thought about Death Becomes Her. It's okay. Didn't really do much for me, but it's okay. Definitely has me intrigued for what's coming now. I'd be even more so again if I didn't know that we were getting a whole new movie. But yeah, that was my review. Once again, I want to thank y'all for watching my most consistent series across any of my channels. Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing these. Yeah, thank you for watching.